What it do? What it deal?
Look at the camera while you do it.
Yeah, look at the camera while you do it, bro.
What it do? What it is?
Jerry Curve.
What's good, everybody? We are back again for a very, very special episode.
It's finals time, baby. It's finals time.
It's been a long season,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to talk about these NBA finals that are upon us.
We here now.
Yes, sir. I go by the name of Rip 16, the GOAT,
I'm tired of fly. Jet, you know who it is.
and we are the mighty No Hedging Podcast duo, man. Yeah, man, like we said, it's been a long road. You know, we got a couple things right, couple things wrong.
I got a lot of things wrong.
It was a gang of them. But nevertheless, we're here.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it again. We're going to try and get it real right for the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So we need y'all to like, share, comment, subscribe. Stay tapped in with the gang so we can stay tapped in with y'all, man. We do love it when you guys comment, you guys talk. I seen a couple Mavs fans in there. I'm gonna give y'all.
Yeah, they were there. They were there.
I'm gonna give y'all some credit. Unlike Clippers fans, you knew what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm. The Mavs fans was in there representing.
They was in there representing heavy.
Yeah. I
seen somebody say Mavs in 5. I'm gonna find your comment in there and give you a shout out. Maybe when we get our tees rolling or whatever, I need to message you and try and get you a tea or something, you know, since you predicted it right.
Yeah.
But without further ado, man,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the NBA Finals on the crossover. What's happening? Okay. So, first game, game 1, will be taking place at good old Boston. Boston is a 6.5 point favorite in this game versus the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
Any initial thoughts about just the path that they took to get there, or you know what you saw over the course of these last couple series that they played? You know,
Well, I am surprised that the Pacers didn't put up a fight. Or a better fight.
Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, and
that was the end of it.
Yeah, that ball movement and just the way that they played was different.
Yeah, so, I mean, for Boston, they just coasted through the Eastern Conference Finals.
yeah.
I mean, it was easy breezy, beautiful, you know, cover girl for them. They got right through that. But on the other side, you know, you got the Mavs and the Wolves.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, it was a nice little battle, you know. The Mavs it seems like the Mavs just came out there, like, ready to play, ready to take over, ready to dominate, and they were more prepared than the Wolves, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that the Wolves were outmatched necessarily. I just think they just got outplayed. You know what I mean? I think your stars showed up to play when they needed to, you know?
They did. I definitely agree with that. I mean, I felt like the Mavs defense was I felt like the Wolves defense was going to be more of a factor for the Mavs, but it was not.
Nah, not at all.
It was Lob City up in there. They had Lively and Gafford catching all kind of lobs, putbacks. Luka, I heard a brilliant point about how Luka puts players on his hip, and throws lobs kind of because it makes the defender make a split decision. And
Yeah,
I think
to
Rudy
crash,
Gobert,
and double, yeah.
Rudy Gobert, he just didn't get it right a lot of times.
Yeah.
When it comes to, do I step up and double Luka or do I cut off this passing lane? And he did not cut it off.
It was a conversation about, I don't know what your thoughts on this was, you know, do you think it was advantageous for the Wolves to play two bigs like that, like they was playing in this series?
Apparently not.
Right, based off of the outcome.
Because the shooting, you still had guys like PJ Washington who can hit a corner three
And space the floor.
and space the floor, but you also had to deal with one-on-one matchups, or if you decide to double Luka or Kyrie, they both made very good passing decisions. So, to me, I think you needed a little bit more quickness, a little bit more lateral movement, guys who play defense a little bit better side to side, so that you can get some of those agile adjustments that you would need playing against a guy especially like Kyrie, who's very shifty. Because Kyrie had hella lobs too. So Kyrie dribble penetration, throwing the ball up, quick lobs, quick dishes around the big man. Cat defense actually wasn't atrocious most of the time, but I felt like he just made too many of those dumbass fouls, which everybody talked about that.
Yeah.
Fouls at half court as a 7-footer, you fouling the big man. It's like, what are you doing? So too many plays like that. For Cat, which kind of stunted his growth, because he did have a couple potentially good games. He had a very good game 4 where he went off and they actually won that game. But yeah, I think to the credit of the Dallas Mavericks, they found a way to work around those big men and exploit the weakness. Rudy Gobert cannot come out and defend to a 3-point line. That's not what he does, and they exploit the hell out of it.
That's a fact.
And they also took advantage of him not being able to move side to side very well. So with that being said, we have the Dallas Mavericks had advanced to the finals and the Boston Celtics that have advanced to the finals. Now, my question to you is, another key factor that goes into this game is they're saying that Kristaps Porzingis is saying that he's going to play.
Yeah.
Kind of leaning into your question, having a big man on the floor after seeing what they just did to Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns is like, okay, do I want him out here?
And especially a
and
big
not
man.
100%, and he's not good lateral side to side already.
And he hasn't played in months.
Yeah, it's been about a month and some change.
Wait, April.
He played in the end of April. I think they said April 29th was the last game where he had that injury. I don't know. I feel like, you know how we kind of said back in the day when we first started with our group chat and we was talking about football and we was like, or basketball parlays, and we'll be talking about how, if somebody's inserted back into the lineup, we fading them.
Fade him. Fade him.
That's kind of how I feel about Porzingis right now. I don't know what I'm going to get out of him.
No.
He has the height. When he played against them during the season, he did really well. However, the problem is he ain't played in a month and some change. And I feel
let's
like
play
that's
off basketball, man. That throws off the whole, the chemistry with the players on the court, throws off the rotation.
Yeah,
throws
and I feel
off
like
everything.
Boston had a pretty good rotation going.
Yeah, especially now that they're in the finals, you know what I mean? Let me ask you, who you think is under more pressure to win the finals? The Celtics or the Mavs?
Probably the Celtics.
100%. I agree.
I think the Celtics, just because, for one, Boston is Boston.
Prestigious.
They have a very illustrious history, especially when it comes to winning championships, tied with the Lakers. If they win this, they have the most championships out of any NBA franchise. So I think it's a lot of pressure on them just because of the city, but also because of the fact that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been to the finals.
They've been there before, yep.
Just a couple years ago, and they got their ass beat. Now you're the favorite going into the finals, and you playing against a team that you match up pretty well with. So it's like, I think it's a lot of pressure because I think they got to make a decision on whether or not Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is going to win you a championship.
Right.
If
they paid them like they thought they will.
Right. But if they don't come through, then it's like,
there's some jerseys getting burnt in Boston.
So to me, the Boston Celtics have all of the pressure, which takes off a lot of pressure of the Mavericks to just go out there and play ball and play the best game that they can play because they're the underdog. So to me, I feel like the pressure is on Boston, but I think that is scary for Boston also because if the Mavs can go out here with the pressure of knowing like, all right, We just got to go out here and play our best game that we can play, which I think is ultimately what every good team does. But they can't come out there on that lackadaisical shit what they do sometimes and lose a game or get into a close game and a dogfight. Because as we've seen, as they just did against Minnesota, Dallas can come back on your ass in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They're capable.
Yeah, no lead is safe.
The lead is not safe. Minnesota was leading the game in the fourth quarter like most of the games they played, and they lost most of the games they played. So
that was their problem. They couldn't close the fourth
they
quarter.
couldn't close it. That one game they won, they actually closed.
Yeah.
And it took Cat and Ant to do it. So you going against Kyrie and Luka, who seem to have a LeBron and Kyrie-esque feel to it.
Yeah.
From when they won the championship, going against his team that he left, that dynamic duo after winning the championship, going against them, it was a lot of statements and shit made on his way out of the building. So I expect Kyrie to show up fired up, ready to play. I expect him to go hard. Luka, I mean, he's been a 30-point, damn near triple-double, if not a triple-double scorer most of the season. Yeah, you can't come out here bullshitting.
Nah, you can't.
But overall for the series, who do you have winning?
Oh, this is tough.
Well, tell me who do you have winning for game one?
Game one. I would say, this is my thought. I think if the Mavs steal game one, it's going to go 7 games. If the Mavs steals game one, it's going to go 7 games. But I think, because here's the thing. The Celtics, they was playing the Pacers, right? And I feel like the Celtics haven't really been challenged. It seems like they've been coasting through the whole playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they played Miami, who was already a little hobbled. Then they played against Cleveland, who was also hobbled.
Banged up.
They played against the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton got
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like they just been kind of coasting through this playoff run, and you get a Mavericks team that's healthy, that's been playing like tough competitions. Right. The Thunder, the Timberwolves. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. Like they're battle tested. So I think this one, like I said, most pressure is going to be on Boston. I think the Mavs probably take game one because it's going to probably shock Boston a little bit. But I think I do want Kyrie to win this championship. I really do. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Boston in 7. I'm gonna say Boston in 7.
Boston in 7. Okay. I mean, well, I'll say I'm in agreement with you about game one. I think the Mavs come out and kind of shock them. Both teams are rested, but I don't like a team that has a tendency to get a little lazy to have too much rest. And that's the Boston Celtics.
They get a little rusty too.
They get a little rusty. They get a little lazy. They get a little lackadaisical. It's like we had that conversation in another episode where we was like, yeah, they just know. They walk up there and they was like, yeah, we know we good.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, but this other team might outwork your ass. And that's what you don't want because they got some dog in them. The Mavs got some dog in them.
For sure.
So I think that throws them off. I tell you, I hate the point spread. The point spread is 6.5 points. I don't like Boston to win by no 6.5.
Nah, give me the plus.
Give me the plus on Dallas for sure.
Yeah.
But I do think they can upset them in game one just because of the break and the time, and I think they're a bigger dog. I don't anticipate Boston coming out like super fired up and energized. Maybe certain players or whatnot, but I don't know about them doing enough to just overcome the Mavs in game one. Now my train of thought is that this series goes 6.
6?
I'm thinking 6. And to be quite honest, I'm kind of feeling the energy flowing towards the Mavs to win more than Boston.
Yeah.
Just because of the way they play. Like you said, they've been battle tested. Kyrie going against Boston. Luka's first NBA Finals. His buddy Jokic already won him one. He gotta get in there and do his thing. You know, Luka has a lot of hype around his name and whatnot too. He's been a professional basketball player since he was 13.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is Luka's got a lot of experience. He's very poised. It's not his first time in a big game. Not of this magnitude, but I don't think he'll fold under pressure.
He's a baller, bro.
He's a baller.
Real ballers don't fold.
No. And he play at his speed. And I don't think Boston plays at a speed that's just unmanageable for him to handle. I'm curious to see that Drew Holiday and Kyrie Irving matchup. A great on-ball defender versus a great one-on-one player. Unstoppable force versus an immovable object. What's going to happen? So I'm very curious to see how that matchup goes. I think after game one, we'll get a very clear picture of where that leans. But I'm excited about this one. I like it a lot. I think it'll be a very competitive series.
Yeah.
Because Boston just has a whole bunch of others. And the Mavericks throughout this playoff run have had a bunch of others to step up. You know, you got guys like Derrick Jones and Gafford and Lively and PJ Washington, who had a good series, not so much against the Timberwolves, but he had a good series against the Nuggets. And you still got Derek White, who's Mr. Reliable. Porzingis coming back. I think him stretching the defense is good, but I don't feel like the Mavericks defenders they like to rim protect, but I don't think they're that bad away from the rim, though. So I think for Boston, the key to them to make me lean the other way, if I were to, it would be how much production are you gonna get out of Kristaps Porzingis? I know what you're gonna get out of Derek White. I'm pretty sure you're going to get some decent defense from Drew Holiday, and you're going to get some three-point shooting because he's been shooting the three very well this season. Horford has been pretty consistent, and he doesn't have to play as many minutes if Kristaps Porzingis is playing well or decent. I think my biggest thing is just how is Kristaps Porzingis going to go with the chemistry that they've built up. Also, if Boston wins, I think Jaylen Brown might end up being the MVP.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that next. I was gonna ask you who you feel will be the MVP.
If Boston wins, I'm thinking Jaylen Brown more than Jason Tatum because I feel like he just comes out way more intense and is a lot more active,
aggressive, and I can see that, but I just think they want Jason Tatum.
They want Jason Tatum to be the guy.
Yeah, they want him to be the guy. They want him to be the guy. I just feel like in key moments, it's definitely Jaylen Brown that shows up. You know what I mean? Like that 3-ball that he hit from the corner. Yeah. It was a game 1 against the Pacers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it in the overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, he play intense.
You know what I mean? Like I think those are the moments that changed the game for them. You know what I mean? Like Jason Tatum, he's like but when it matters most, like I don't really see Jason Tatum getting no shots like that, man.
At least for the sake of this playoff run, I can say that I've seen it more out of Jaylen, especially within the last couple of series.
Yeah.
But I had an interesting debate with one of the homies. He was like, if you start over again, which one of those guys are you taking? Are they going to blow it up if they lose? And it was like, okay. Jaylen and Jason, when it comes to the intangibles, I think if you start over again, of course people are still going to take Jason Tatum. Just because he's damn near 6'10", he shoots threes, he's
all around. He's
an all-around player. Yeah. He doesn't necessarily do one thing super great, but he does a lot of shit very well.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of intangibles.
Yeah.
With Jaylen Brown, it's kind of like he doesn't necessarily – he's aggressive. He play hard. He's athletic. He shoots some threes, but he's he's a versatile wing player. However, it kind of feels like, okay, you might be able to get a guy who's a 3-point specialist to supplement some of the shooting. And you might be able to get one of these guys who's just good with rim running and just athletic to get you a couple of those athletic plays that Jalen might get you. So it seems like people kind of value it as if he's a little bit more replaceable than a Jason Tatum. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I just feel like if you just a basketball coach and a GM and you looking at it on paper, you're like, okay, well, I can't get what Jalen brings everywhere.
No.
But I see some of the stuff with Jason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I said it wrong. Their names are always tripping me up. But you get the point. Point being is that they wanted to be Jason Tatum, but I think it's going to be Jaylen Brown based on how they played. And I think you're going to need him to be aggressive as he's been, especially if he can get some of those bigs in foul trouble for Dallas. Maybe that'll alleviate some of those alley-oops that they got going right now because they looking like Lob City 2.0. So we shall see how that goes. But who do you think would be, if it's Dallas, who do you think would be?
Luka. Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Okay.
I guarantee Luka, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luka is going to be the driving force of that team to win the championship by far. Like, Kyrie is going to play a pivotal, important role as well. But Luka is going to be it's all on Luka, bro. Luka has to play well. If Luka doesn't play well, they don't win. It's just what it is, you know, because Kyrie can have like a
Kyrie can go off
game.
and go 40.
He could have a subpar game too, and then like Luka can have a great game and they still win the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's when Luka doesn't play well, that's when they lose. You know what I'm saying? So they need Luka to play well, and in order to win this series, to win the finals, Luka's gonna have to play well. And if he plays well and they win that series, he's gonna get the MVP.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. I agree. I definitely think it's him. Just because he has to do more in terms of rebounding and assists than Kyrie has to do. Mm-hmm. So I think that boosts him. Kyrie pretty much has to give you a few assists, make some clutch shots, and match Luka's scoring as much as possible. If he can do that, you know, or if he's assisting really well that game and getting the other guys involved, I think he's still scoring and assisting on points. So he doesn't have to go out and have 30 points. He can have, if he got 8 assists, he don't really have to have 30 points. So, but Luka, he has to have 35. He got to have like 35 and like 10 assists and like 10 rebounds.
Every night.
Every day.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah.
And he does it, to his credit. He does it on a regular basis. So, the interesting thing about this is the in-season matchup, they only played twice. Boston won both.
Okay.
Of course, that was with Kristaps. I don't know if both of those games was before the trade with Gafford and who else came in that trade? PJ? I think it was PJ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was before that trade or after. I know one of them was after the trade for sure, but Boston won those games. They won with Kristaps. That's important to note. So, again, Kristaps Porzingis, I don't know. Injuries kind of scary. You coming back kind of quick off of the type of injury that he had. So, hopefully he doesn't re-injure himself trying to get back to the finals. But if there is ever a time to push it, the finals is the time to push it. So, we're going to see how that turns out, man.
Celtics in 7.
Celtics in 7. I say Mavs in 6.
Celtics in 7.
Mavs Nation, you convinced me. So we gonna see how that turns out, man. But yeah, y'all like, share, comment, subscribe.
Jason Tatum, Channing Tatum. Celtics in 7.
Hey man, listen, Don Corleone, Donnie Brasco, Luka the Don, Mavs in 6. Oh man, I'm looking at Luka on props too. PRA. I'm looking at Luka PRA every game.
Over.
He got to go off.
Over.
I'm pushing it.
Roger, over.
I think Prize Picks got something. Got like a Jason Tatum taco or something right now. It's probably like half a point. So that one, obviously, that's one that you can tap into. I'm liking Lively and Gafford on points and rebounds because I think I still don't have faith in Porzingis really stopping the lobs. He's just coming back. I don't trust it. Give me Gafford and Lively on them points and rebounds, man. And we're going to see what Kyrie, I'm going to see how he cook up. Maybe if they ain't got his points too high, I'll consider Kyrie points. But that's the main things I'm really looking at right about now. Oh, yeah, my boy Derek White. Points, rebounds, assists. You already know what's going on. Derek White for sure.
Over.
PRA. We're going to see what they do with Jalen, though.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see what they do with Jalen. If anything, it's going to be points, but I'm going to see what the number is at when I lock it in. But I say that to say, follow us on the gram, too, man. No Hedging Podcast. I've been giving y'all some of my props.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Dropping
been
the props.
store.
Been hitting, too.
And it's been some of them things been hitting.
Been cashing in lately.
Some of them things been hitting. So, you can choose to tap in or not. But as the series progressing, as it go on, I'm gonna be dropping some props in the story. So y'all make sure y'all follow No Hedging Podcast on IG. Tap in if you wanna, tap in on some of Rip's props. You might want to mix and match. I might give y'all like 2 or 3 of them in a day or whatever. You might want to take a couple from this one, couple, and put it together. Get you a nice 3 or a nice 4. Take something that you like. You know what I'm saying? Or not. It's up to you. But
Or not.
I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna give you my real runs too. So yeah, man. Y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see y'all
On the next one,
man.
Peace. Channing Tatum, Jason Tatum, Lorenz Tate, Celtics and 7. Lorenz Tate, Celtics and 7.